there, I'm author Sarah A. Chrisman, and today I'm going to share a trip that my husband Gabriel and I recently took to Holly Lamar's Wing Blade Falconry in Jolton, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. Tales of Chetzemoka fans by now are pretty well acquainted with awkward Ethel's pet owl Athena, the little saw-whet owl who made her debut in Three Women a Wheel, wrecked Felix's hat in Sparks Press, and then featured in Ethel's romance with Fred in A Bumpy Road to Marriage. I've always had a deep interest in owls, the totemic animals of Athena, goddess of wisdom. I was inspired to write Ethel's pet saw-whet into my series after reading the true story of Florence Nightingale's pet little owl, also named Athena. Florence, who later became famous for her nursing work in the Crimean War, had slightly unconventional ways of doing things, and she used to carry her little owl around in her pocket. Luckily not on the battlefield, though. This was back home in England. Like Ethel did in Three Women a Wheel, Florence Nightingale acquired her owl when she rescued her as a little fledgling from a bunch of children who were tormenting the tiny little thing. In Florence Nightingale's case, the location of this drama was a ruined temple of Athena, the Parthenon in Athens, Greece. At that time, the Parthenon was completely overgrown, and restoration work on the glorious temple had only just begun to try repairing centuries upon centuries of neglect and vandalism. Recently, Gabriel and I went on a pilgrimage to a Victorian-era full-scale replica of the Parthenon, built in Nashville, Tennessee in 1897. While we were there, we stayed in the nearby community of Jolton, home to Wing Blade Falconry. The falconer, Holly Lamar, treated us to one of the most magical afternoons of our lives. In the 19th century, people kept birds of prey for a wide variety of reasons, ranging from the practical to the romantic. At the Crystal Palace Exposition of 1851 in London, when sparrows became a problem within the enormous glass house because their droppings were getting on everything and everyone, the nuisance sparrows clearly couldn't be shot because bullets would have shattered the glass panes that made up the Crystal Palace. Instead, falconers brought in sparrowhawks to deal with the problem, and the fierce little raptors were happy to help. Over on the other side of the Atlantic, Victorian texts such as the 1890 American Boy's Handybook offered advice on the relative merits of pet owls versus pet hawks, and suggested that a properly trained pet hawk could be posted as a very effective guard for keeping chickens out of one's garden. In marked contrast to this democratic situation of young boy's pet as farmer's helper, for many enthusiasts, a large part of falconry's appeal lay in the elitism of its roots. For the landed gentry of Europe, and especially of Britain, in a world which was rapidly changing, falconry offered a way to maintain continuity with the past and with older traditions. Falconry was a living link to medieval days when one's rank determined which bird one could fly. A gyrfalcon for a king, a peregrine for an earl, a merlin for a lady, a goshawk for a yeoman, and famously a kestrel for a knave. Incidentally, the same 1883 Castle's Encyclopedia where I found these old medieval specifications also pointed out that medieval owners of the largest raptors had engaged in a sort of catch-and-release braggadocio when their birds caught a heron. A metal ring with the captor's name engraved on it would be attached to the heron's leg, and it would be set free again. The February 1898 issue of Outing, a sports magazine, reported another fun detail of medieval falconry. Remember that in the rankings I mentioned, a merlin was for a lady. Well, apparently they were so fashionable that there are records of clergymen pleading with the ladies not to bring their merlins to church services, and the church even issued edicts against ladies bringing their merlins to church. It didn't work, though. The ladies brought their birds to church anyways. The Victorian era witnessed what might best be termed a romantic medieval revival, when the works of philosophers and artists like William Morris and the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood revived chivalric images of brave knights and fair ladies. Falconry traditions were elegant accompaniments to this revived interest in medievalism, and when the Victorian poet Alfred Lord Tennyson presented his idea of King Arthur's court in the Idylls of the King, he had Queen Guinevere go hawking with Sir Lancelot. Across barriers of time and space, Humans who work with birds of prey have all shared a mutual fascination with these majestic creatures. They inspire and uplift us, and if we're patient enough and know how to listen, they might just reveal unseen truths to us, as Athena's owl does for the great goddess of wisdom.
Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a nice thumbs up and remember to tell your friends about my books. Happy reading!